ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి, జేఈఈ అయినా, నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.
Good morning to all. In this class, I will give the information related to the concept of effective nuclear charge. As I have previously mentioned, effective nuclear charge is an important concept which is used to explain the periodicity of atomic radius and also ionization potential and some other periodic properties also. So, it is better to go through the concept of effective nuclear charge, and actually it is related to advance. It is related to advance. Right. What about the effective nuclear charge? What about the effective nuclear charge? Simply, effective nuclear charge is the nuclear attraction per each electron. Nuclear attraction per each electron in an atom is generally referred as effective nuclear charge. Okay. But here, effective nuclear charge is represented by the letters ZEF, OR, Z star. But how can you calculate or how can you measure and how can you evaluate the nuclear attraction on the electrons that are present in an atom or element? For that we are using an expression. What is that? Effective nuclear charge is equal to Z minus sigma. Here Z star is equal to effective nuclear charge. Effective nuclear charge. Effective nuclear charge. And Z is equal to atomic number. Atomic number. And sigma is equal to Slater constant. Slater constant. Slater constant. Okay. And here the Slater constant is also represented as screening effect. And that is also we can represent it as shielding effect. Whatever it may be, same. Whatever it may be, same. Slater constant or screening effect or shielding effect. And Z is equal to atomic number. And Z star is equal to effective nuclear charge. This is the expression used to calculate the effective nuclear charge. Right. Why we are using atomic number in this expression? What is Slater constant? And how can you calculate the Slater constant? That we have to know. Let us consider an atom. This is the first orbit. This is the first orbit. And this is the second orbit. Third orbit, and this is fourth orbit. First orbit, second orbit, third orbit and fourth orbit. And here there is an electron present in the outermost orbit. In the same way, the electrons are present in some other inner orbits also. Inner orbits also. And same time, in an atom, inside the nucleus, both neutrons and protons are present. That is supposed to be mass number. But here neutrons are chargeless particles or particles with neutral charge. Whereas in case of proton, with positive charge. So, here the nuclear charge means the sum of the number of protons. The total nuclear charge is equal to the sum of the number of protons. Sum of the number of protons in an atom is nothing but atomic number. Atomic number. Here the nuclear charge is nothing but atomic number. Okay. But what about the importance of Slater constant? Why it is represented as the screening effect or shielding effect, and that is also represented as repulsive forces or repulsion forces. How the repulsion forces are appeared immediately here? Very simple. This is the nucleus with the positive charge, nucleus, and it attracts the outermost electron. Along with outermost electron, it shows or it attracts the electrons of inner orbits also, undoubtedly. But I would like to calculate the effective nuclear charge on the outermost electron. Now, this nucleus tightly attracting the valence electron towards itself. Towards itself. Okay. That is attraction force. And same time, here the electrons are negatively charged, which are present outside the nucleus. Here, there will be a repulsion between the like charges. This is negatively charged, this is negatively charged, this is negatively charged, this is also negatively charged. Each and every electron is negatively charged. Here the outermost electron is also negatively charged. During the revolving of electron in a given orbit, they came into interaction with each other. As a result of that, there are some repulsions between the inner electrons and also the electron to which the effective nuclear charge calculated. How can you measure the repulsive forces? And which is used to represent the repulsive forces, and that can be represented as the screening effect or shielding effect. Screening effect or shielding effect. How can you define the word screening effect or shielding effect? That is the phenomenon of obstruction of the electrons present in the inner orbits of the nuclear attraction on the outermost electron or valence electron is said to be screening effect. I am repeating once again. Screening effect is also known as shielding effect. The electrons which are present in the inner orbits obstructs, means behaves like the screens to the nuclear attraction on the outermost electron. That phenomenon is known as screening effect or shielding effect. That is nothing but the repulsion force between the electron to which the effective nuclear charge calculated and the electrons present in the inner orbits. That repulsion is expressed in terms of Slater constant sigma. And here this is the total positive charge of the nuclear charge. This is the Slater constant, means nothing but repulsion. And atomic number minus Slater constant gives effective nuclear charge. That is the effective nuclear charge, means that is the nuclear attraction on that particular electron. Right. Here, atomic number of given atom or given element is already known. But how can you calculate the screening constant or shielding effect or screening effect or repulsion forces? Here, that is calculation of screening effect. Calculation of screening effect or shielding effect or repulsive forces. First point. During the calculation of the Slater constant, first we should write the electronic configuration of given atom according to the Slater configuration. According to the Slater configuration. What about the Slater configuration? That is not obeying above principle. That is against to the above principle. How can you represent the Slater configuration? That is NS or 1S, second one 2S, 2P, next 3s, 3p, 3d, 4s, 4p, 4d, 4f and so on. This is the Slater configuration. In Slater configuration, the groups of different subenergy levels are represented like this. This is not obeying the above principle. This is against to the above principle actually. 1s, first orbit, 2s, 2p, second orbit, 3s, 3p, 3d, third orbit, 4s, 4p, 4d, 4f, fourth orbit. This is the representation of the orbits. And this is nothing but the Slater configuration. Here the first point is whatever for the electron to which the effective nuclear charge calculated, for that atom based on the atomic number we have to represent the Slater configuration. And the second one, the electrons which are present on right side of the group in which the effective nuclear charge calculated should be excluded from the calculation, or their contribution is nothing towards the Slater constant. Take for example, let us consider nitrogen. Nitrogen atomic number is equal to 7. Electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p, 3. This is 1s2, 2 electrons and 2s2, 2p3. This is the actual configuration, but according to Slater configuration that can be represented as 1s2 and 2s2, 2p3, or in some cases that can be represented as 2s, 2p taken 5, no problem. Right. Now, in this p orbital, there are 2 electrons present. Now, I would like to calculate the effective nuclear charge of this electron. Effective nuclear charge on this electron. Then we have no need to think about the groups that are present on the right side of the electron in which the effective nuclear charge calculated. Okay. Here in another case I would like to calculate the effective nuclear charge on this electron. This electron. Then we have no need to think about this one. That means whatever the electron that is present on the right side of the given group should be excluded from the calculation. Should be excluded from the calculation. And for the better understanding I will give another example. Zinc 30. Electronic configuration according to the Slater 1s2, 2s, 2p6, 3s, 3p8, 4s2, 3d10. This is according to (3d10, 4s2). This is according to Slater configuration, right? Now I would like to effective nuclear charge of any one of the electron in 3d in this particular case. Then I have no need to think about 4s. Suppose I would like to calculate the effective nuclear charge of an electron present in the 3s 3p group of zinc. Then I have no need to think about these two. That is about the second point. That is about the second point. The electrons which are present on the right side of the group in which the effective nuclear charge calculated will not contribute anything to the Slater constant, means they must be excluded from the calculation of Slater constant. This is the first point, this is the second point. Okay. Now a doubt arises to you. And here, based on the configuration, how can you calculate the Slater constant? Take for example, case 1. Suppose electrons are present in the NS-NP group. Then how can you calculate the Slater constant? How can you calculate the Slater constant? Here, during the calculation of effective nuclear charge of an electron present in NS and NP group, except the electron to which the effective nuclear charge calculated, the remaining all electrons contribute the remaining all electrons contribute 0.35 to Slater constant. If the electron present in NS-NP group, in such cases, except the electron to which the effective nuclear charge calculated, the remaining all electrons contribute 0.35 each towards the Slater constant. And next one, the electrons which are present in the n-1th orbit contributes 0.85 to Slater constant. And the electrons which are present in n-2, n-3 and so on contributes each one, that may contribute one each to the Slater constant. Electron which are present in the NS-NP group, except the electron to which the effective nuclear charge calculated, the remaining all electrons contribute each 0.35 to the Slater constant. And the electrons which are present in the n-1th orbit contribute 0.85 each to the Slater constant. And the remaining all electrons present in the inner orbits are contribute 1 each to the Slater constant. This is about the calculation of the Slater constant when the electron present in the NS-NP groups. Right. What about the calculation of Slater constant when the electrons are present in the ND and NF groups? That is nothing but case 2. When the electron present in the ND and NF groups. Here the first point remains same, second point remains same, and the only difference is in these 3 points. What are they? First one, during the calculation of Slater constant for the electron present in either ND or NF groups, except the electron to which the effective nuclear charge calculated, the remaining all electrons contribute 0.35 each to the Slater constant. Means n electron to which the effective nuclear charge calculated is exception. Other than that, the remaining all electrons contribute each 0.35 to Slater constant. And the second point, the electrons which are present in inner orbits, that may be n-1, that may be n-2, that may be n-3, whatever it may be, all the inner electrons contribute 1 each to the Slater constant. Here there is no second point. The second point is available in only or present in only case 1. During the calculation of the effective nuclear charge of electron present in the ND or NF groups, you have no need to think about the second point, that is 0.85 contribution. This is about the calculation of Slater constants. During the calculation of effective nuclear charge, when the electron present in either NS-NP group or ND or NF groups. Now, I will give some examples. To the particular cases. What about the effective nuclear charge of an electron present in the outermost electron of nitrogen atom? Here nitrogen, atomic number 7, 1s2, 2s, 2p, 5. Actually 2s2, 2p3 according to our book, but according to Slater, 1s2, 2s, 2p, 5. Now I would like to calculate the effective nuclear charge of electron present in the 2s, 2p group. Right? And this is the first point I have written on the board. Second one, we have no need to think about the electrons that are present on right side because there is no electron on right side of 2s, 2p group. Forget about that. And here, what about the third point? During the calculation of Slater constant, the electron to which the effective nuclear charge calculated is excluded and the remaining electron contribute 0.35 each to the Slater constant, means here 4 into 0.35 plus, and the electrons which are present in the inner orbit means n minus 1 contribute 0.85 each to the Slater constant. How many electrons are there? 2. 2 into 0.85, that is equal to 1.7 plus 1.4, that is equal to 3.1, that is Slater constant. Now, effective nuclear charge Z star is equal to atomic number minus Slater constant, nothing but repulsion force, nothing but shielding effect, nothing but screening effect. What about the atomic number of nitrogen? 7 minus 3.1, that is equal to 4.9, 3.9. This is about the effective nuclear charge. And second example, calculate the effective nuclear charge of the valence electron present in the element zinc. Zinc is equal to atomic number 30, that is 1s2, 2s, 2p6, 3s, 3p8, 3p6 plus 2. 8 and 3d 10, 4s 2. 8 plus 2 10, 10 plus 8 18, 18 plus 10 28, 28 plus 2 30. Now what is the question here? Calculate the effective nuclear charge of the valence electron of zinc atom or zinc metal. Here this is the outermost orbit. Now I would like to calculate the effective nuclear charge of the valence electron. Here the formula Z star is equal to Z minus sigma. How can you calculate sigma? Slater constant. Here 2 electrons are there. Exclude 1 electron. The remaining electrons 1 into 0.35 plus This is n. What about n minus 1? This is n minus 1. The electrons which are present in the inner orbits n minus 1, each one contributes 0.85. Here 18 into 0.85. 18 into 0.85. And the remaining all electrons, that may be n minus 2, that may be n minus 3, whatever it may be, the remaining all electrons contribute 1 each to the Slater constant. That is 10 into 1 is equal to 10 plus 18 into 0.85. 18 into 0.85 plus 0.35. 15.3, totally 10 plus 15.3, 25.3 plus 0.35, that is equal to 25.65. This is Slater constant. But what about the effective nuclear charge? Effective nuclear charge Z star is equal to 30 minus 25.65. That is equal to 4.35. That is equal to 4.35. This is the effective nuclear charge on the outermost electron. This is the first one. Second one. What about the effective nuclear charge of the electron present in 3D group? For that, sigma is equal to, you have no need to think about this one. Sigma is equal to 9 into 0.35 plus, and what about the remaining electrons? Remaining electrons, 8 plus 2, 10. 10 plus 18. That is 18 into 1. That is equal to 3.15 plus 18. That is equal to 21.15. Therefore, Z star is equal to 30 minus 21.15. That is equal to 8.85. 8.85. That is the effective nuclear charge on the electron present in the 3D group. 3D electron. This is about the examples to the calculation of Slater constant. మధ్యలో